try to keep the class as interactive as possible. Okay, right now I can see that nobody here is speaking. Okay, please try to keep the session as much as interactive as possible. Okay, whatever you want to ask, wherever you want to ask, please feel free about it. Okay. Okay, so let's start then. Okay, tell me one thing, is my screen visible to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Perfect. Okay, so right now I'm just going to quickly explain, okay, what we're going to cover. Okay, so there are a total of 5 modules here you can see in our course. Okay, starting with your Python programming basics. Okay, now I am assuming, okay, that like since there is a mix of IT and non-IT background, okay, so I will be covering the Python programming basics right from scratch. Okay, this will cover getting started with Python, what Python is. Python is a programming language. So what Python is, okay, how to install everything. We're going to start this today actually. Okay, then we will quickly move on to after Python programming, then we will quickly move on to your statistics. Okay, so statistics is more of a mathematical concept. Okay, so here we will understand what statistics is, like multiple terms in statistics. Okay, types of statistics. Okay, variable, population, sample. Here you can see descriptive statistics, inferential statistics. Okay, multiple measure of central tendency, mean, median, mode. Okay, all of you already have studied some of these concepts, I hope. Okay, maybe in your 11th and 12th. Okay, in your school. Okay, basically in statistics and probability, but there are some other topics also that we are going to cover. Okay, second thing is class. Okay, next thing we are going to cover NumPy and pandas. So NumPy and pandas are basically libraries, okay, which are used in data analysis. Okay, so NumPy and pandas we are going to cover. These are the most powerful libraries out there, and they are a must. We're going to cover this, then we will understand NumPy and pandas more on them because they are major topics. Then we will move on to data visualization. Data visualization in short is basically your how these things, like how we plot graphs, okay, graphs and charts using Python, okay, for any data that has been provided to us. Okay, so we can make charts, graphs, pie chart, bar chart, okay, histograms, okay, so multiple charts we can make in using Python. So that is your data visualization when we visualize the data. Okay, then after this, okay, so this is basically majorly everything that we're going to cover, and based on all these things, we're going to cover a project in the end. Okay, we're going to cover a project in the end where we will understand how data analysis works, what tools are, okay, all those things. Okay, how the data analysis is implemented in real life, what are its applications, okay, and what kind of projects are there, okay, what kind of companies are there, okay, and what kind of industrial projects are also there. So we're going to cover this too. So this is all about this is the whole thing that we're going to, this is the whole, all topics that we're going to cover along this course. Okay. So first of all, okay, before starting with Python, okay, I need to just do one thing. Plus, all of you all of you need to install a software in your computer. Okay. Tell me if you've already installed it or not. I don't know. Okay. Have you installed any software for Python? Anyone class? Have you already installed
Ideally,
any?
sir. Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Ideally.
Yes, sir.
All of you have installed idle or not?
Yes, sir.
No.
Installed.
Not all of you. Okay. So like you have installed idle from your end or like somebody told you to install? You were instructed to install it or you installed it from your end?
We installed it before. We installed it before itself.
Acha, okay, no problem. Okay, see, one thing, idle we can also use, ideally that you're talking about idle. Okay, we can also use that, but primarily what happens when we work in data analysis? okay, or data science for that matter. Okay, so there is a particular software that is provided, okay, which is majorly used in the industry. That is your Anaconda software. Okay, so what you need to do, go to anaconda.com, everyone. Okay, anaconda.com. Let me just paste this on the chat also here. Anaconda.com you have to open, and here you can see in this, like when you scroll down, you will see an option of install. Okay, please mute.
Yes.
Omer, can you please mute? There is some noise. Yeah. Okay, so here you can see for like you have to download. Okay, now select your window, like select your operating system. If you're using Windows, click on Windows here. If you're using Windows, you can directly click on download. If you're using Mac, so click on this Apple sign here. Okay, if you're using Linux, then click on this Penguin sign here. Okay, if you're using Windows also, in Windows also you need to check one thing, that how much bit is your system is on. Okay, so how can you check that? Go to Windows search, okay, and then right here about. So here it will show you an option of about your PC system settings. When you open it class, so here you can see it is showing you that it is a 64-bit operating system. It is a 64-bit operating system. That is something you need to take care of about. Otherwise, it will get installed, but it will not work. Okay, so here, if it is a 64-bit installing system, then you can directly click on download, and it will get downloaded. Remember that this is a heavy file. This is going to be a heavy file of 594 MB. Okay, so it might take time also. So if your internet connection is not fast right now, I would advise you to install it after the class. Okay, because like, right now you won't be able to learn now. Okay, if your internet connection is fine, then you can install it. No problem. Okay, if your system is not 64-bit, what you need to do, click on Windows here. Okay, this kind of screen will open, and here you can download the 32-bit part. Okay, same goes with Mac also. Linux also. Mac obviously it is 64-bit. So now here you can see, here you have to check what kind of system you have, normal Mac or M1. M1 is the latest version in Mac. Okay, so you have to install either Mac graphical. In Mac you have to choose a graphical installer, this one or this one, any one of this. In Linux, okay, based on your system. Okay, if it is a not like this is ideally you can install this. Otherwise, if you're ARM, if there is ARM64, then you can install this. Okay, or you are using some IBM system or Linux One system, then you can install the last. Power 8 and Power 9 you won't require for now. Okay. If your system is 64-bit, I would suggest you to go for 64-bit system. Okay, now once you start this class, once you download this, okay, click on the installer, and then the window that will open, you just need to click on next. That's it. Don't click on anything else, just click on next. Okay, till the very end, and then it will be installed in your system. I would suggest you to install it in the root folder. That means whatever folder it automatically takes. Okay, install in that software in that folder only. But if you are comfortable in some other folder, you can do that too. So I hope all of you have already started the downloading, at least, right? Hello, class. All of
Yes,
you.
sir.
Okay. Let me open one thing. Okay. So I guess. Okay. So once you download it in your computer, So it will look like this class. It will look like this. So obviously different version, whatever version you're installing. Okay, it will look like this. Click on next. Okay, just me. Next. Here it will ask for the path. So you can by default you can choose the default path, whatever is given to you by default. That only. Then here class, in this case, register Anaconda 3 as my default Python 3.8. If you click on it, then it is better. Even if you don't click on it, then also it is fine, not an issue. But if you click on it, then what will happen automatically? Whatever files you will create in your computer for related to Python can be automatically opened in Anaconda. Anaconda 3 will get registered as a official platform for Python 3.8 in your computer. Okay, you can click check mark on the above one also. Okay, it will be better, obviously. Then click on install. So it will take some time for the installation part. It will take some time for the installation part, and then in the end, just untick on this two. You don't need to see the tutorial or you don't need to learn more, and click on finish. Okay. Once this is done, moving forward, okay, you need to go to Windows search, okay, and write there Jupyter Notebook. Jupy. See the spelling? Jupyter Notebook. Okay, this kind of prompt will open, and click on this. Okay, this kind of prompt will open. Click on this. Okay, and that is all you need to do. Okay, this is the software that we are actually installing. We're going to use the IDE present inside the Anaconda 3. So class, let us understand what exactly is Anaconda 3. What Anaconda 3 is? Anaconda 3 is basically your Anaconda 3, right? Anaconda software. Okay, it is a collection of small, you can say small packages slash softwares. Okay, it is a collection of small packages and softwares. Okay, basically multiple things are there, in which one of them that we're going to use is your Jupyter Notebook. So now what is Jupyter Notebook? Okay, Jupyter Notebook is basically, it is an IDE. Okay, Jupyter Notebook is an IDE. IDE stands for Integrated Development Environment. Okay, what exactly it is? It is integrated, sorry. Okay, integrated development environment. Okay, so basically it is a combination of editor plus interpreter. Okay, now what is the meaning of interpreter? What is the meaning of editor? Editor is something, class. Editor is something where we write the code. For example, you can write your whole code literally in Notepad also if you want to. You can open Notepad in your computer. Okay, and you can write your whole code in Notepad if you want to. First thing. Second thing that is possible, that is your interpreter. Interpreter is basically a type of software which helps us to run our code on the computer. Okay, interpreter is a software which helps us to run our code on the computer. See, our computer cannot understand the code that we are writing, because the code that we are going to write will be in a language that we can understand. Okay, so that language is called as high level language. See, programming languages are majorly divided into two types. Okay, I'm just giving you a quick recap, like introduction here. Programming languages are of two types. One is your high level languages. Okay, next is your low level languages. Now, low level languages are those languages which are nearer to the computer, nearer to the hardware of your computer. That means your hardware can easily understand, such as your binary code. Okay, or assembly code. Okay, binary code is also called as machine level code. Binary code is also called as machine code. Okay, that is your low level language. High level languages are those languages which we can use, we can understand, such as your Python, or let's say C language, or maybe C++, okay, or maybe Java, okay, or maybe your PHP language. Okay, so there are multiple languages, okay, in high level language that we can write the code in, okay, and then your interpreter, is going to convert the high level language, to low level language so that computer can understand what we have written. Okay, so Jupyter Notebook is basically, it is a notebook comprising of IDE. Okay, IDE is basically your editor plus interpreter. Both of those things can be done. The editor, inside editor, we will write the code. In interpreter, we run the code. So Jupyter Notebook is a combination of both of them. Okay, class. Clear so far, everyone? Is it clear so far, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now let's continue. Okay, I hope all of you have downloaded and installed Jupyter in their computers. Yes or no? Anaconda in their systems. Yes or no?
It is being installed, sir.
Those who have already installed, can you raise your hands once? Those who have already done the installation. Okay, can you raise hands? Okay, once the installation is complete now, follow this step. Go to your Windows search, and here write Jupyter Notebook like this. Okay, once it shows you, click on it and open it. Okay, those who complete the installation, raise your hands as soon as you complete it. Installation, not just the
Sir,
downloading,
installation
installation.
is completed, but excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Hello. So installation
Yes,
is
yes.
completed, but it is not. But in the Windows, it is not coming Jupyter Notebook.
Are you writing this correct spelling?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Try writing here Anaconda. Tell me if it shows or not. Anaconda Navigator you have to write. Anaconda Navigator. Is it showing?
No, sir, it is not, sir.
Anaconda Navigator is also not showing.
No, sir.
And you have completed the installation.
Yes, sir.
That is strange actually. Do one thing then, go to add or remove programs and check if it is installed or not Anaconda. It should show ideally though. Go to add or remove programs and check if that file is, if Anaconda is installed perfect successfully or not. Okay, so let's continue class. Okay, class. So once you complete the installation in your computer, once you complete the installation in your computer, so you will see a window like this. You will see a window like this. Okay, like you will right here Jupyter Notebook, right here Jupyter Notebook. So once you write Jupyter Notebook and click on it, so this kind of window will open in your browser. Okay, whichever browser is your default, either Chrome or Edge, this kind of window will open. Raise your hands who already have installed the software, who have completed the installation. Keep your hands raised if possible. So you can start the Python after the installation only. Keep your hands raised, don't lower it, keep your hands raised. Okay. And those who are already, those who have already downloaded, those also can you please raise your hands? Those who have downloaded the file also from the internet, from anaconda.com. Okay. Okay, class. So let's start then. Okay. Some of you already installed. Okay. So this is your, okay, let me just explain the how this software works first. How this software works. Okay, this window that has been opened here, you can see that this is Jupyter. This is called as Jupyter Notebook. This is the whole notebook. This is the folders that are present in your computer. In the root folder, okay, where like in the root folder of your computer, these folders are present. Now what you need to do, class everyone, what you need to do, class everyone, you need to go to any folder that you want. Suppose I'm going to documents folder in my case. Okay, I have created a folder here, Python codes. Okay, how can you create a folder? Click on any folder, let's say documents, and then here go to on top right corner. Here you can see new. Click on folder. Okay, so automatically an untitled folder will get created. Okay, click on this and click on rename. Whatever you want to rename it to. Okay, suppose I'm renaming it to, let's say, data analytics course or whatever. Okay, once you open that, okay, once you are done with this, renaming it, open the folder, and here we are going to save all the files along the whole course, whatever we are going to create. So here inside this class, click on new, click on Python 3. Here you can see Python 3 notebook, right? Notebook is mentioned. So click on Python 3 here. Once you click on Python 3, a separate window, a separate tab will open. Okay, and in the separate tab, this kind of window will be open. Untitled, this is the name of the file that we are going to create. So let's say I'm writing here today, class 01. Okay, we'll mention what topics we're going to cover. Okay, in that, let's say we're going to cover variables, data types. Okay, so all the topics that we're going to cover, I'm going to mention here in the file name only. In the file name only. And then continuing with this here class, this is what we call as cell. Okay, this is what we call as cell. Okay, CELL. Okay, here we are going to write the code. Let me show you a simple code right now. Very simple code I will write here. Let's say print. I have written print hello world here, right? And then I will click on run. So once I click on run here, you can see class automatically this particular cell will run. Okay, and whatever task you want to implement in Python, that has been implemented here. Suppose I write here in the same line, I will write x is equal to 90. And then I will write here, let's say print x. Here you can see it is printing hello world first, and then it is printing x value. It means 90. Okay, I will explain the code in detail. I'm just trying to show you the interface right now. This is how the interface looks like. So once you click whatever you're writing class here, you have to click on run button. Either you can click on run button, or one more thing that you can do is you can click control plus enter. Click, select the cell that you want to run and write control plus enter, or shift plus enter will both will work. Shift plus enter or control plus enter, any one of them you have to use to run that particular code. Run that particular code means we have written the code. Now we are going to execute it. We are going to implement it. Okay, in our hardware. So this is where your interpreter comes in. That I was explaining you earlier. This is where your interpreter. See, this is where your interpreter comes in. Okay. Now let's continue. Okay. Suppose you want to move the cell. Okay. So what you can do, you can move the cell like this. See, above button, top, down button. Okay. Move up, move down. If you want to copy a cell, okay, copy a cell. So yeah, you can write here like this, copy it, and then here you can click and click on, sorry, this is a copy, and here you can click on paste. So here you can see this cell again has been pasted. Okay. Now I will execute this cell again. No problem as well at all. One more thing class, although here you can see that all of these are separate cells individually. All of these are separate cells individually, and you can run codes in them separately. But whenever we write anything in Jupyter Notebook and when we create a file, okay, so a particular memory space from our computer RAM is allocated to that particular code. And that particular memory space is going to be common for all, for the whole code, whatever you are writing. Okay, for all the cells, for the whole file, it is going to be common. That means if I write here class x is equal to, Sam will write something else, r is equal to 23. Okay, so what I am doing here class, when you write r is equal to 23, so we literally create a memory space. We literally allocate a memory space inside the computer, save 23 as data inside that memory space, and name that memory space as r. This is what happens in this particular line. Okay, and then when you write in your computer, here I am writing print r. So here you can see it will print the value of r.
Yeah, Nitish, I think your voice is not there. You are muted, I think.
I was muted till when?
Yeah, now you are audible.
Okay, so I was muted till when?
Has
2 minutes,
been,
sir.
I think, minute, 1 to 2 minutes.
1 to 2 minutes. Okay, no problem. Who is the administrator here, class? Who is the administrator here?
Yeah, I'm the admin.
Okay, you are the admin. Okay, okay.
Yeah.
So I'm just want to say I didn't unmute myself.
Okay.
Never mind. So what I was explaining here, all of you understood the cell thing, right? This is a cell, right? So there are multiple things also in the cell. There are multiple things also in the course that we're going to cover. Okay, in this particular interface only, and we will cover along the course only. So all of you are still installing the software, so not an issue. Okay, once you complete the installation, we can cover this again. I will explain the interface along the course whenever we need whatever. Okay, so the main thing that you need to know is that whenever we are writing any code in any cell, suppose you're writing x is equal to 90, and then here you want to execute this code. So just whatever cell you want to execute, just select the cell and press shift plus enter. This is one thing that you need to know. Second thing that you need to know is that here you can see I am writing print text in the second cell. So although these two cells are separate, okay, but still the X is working in both the cases. I will explain what X is. X is what class? Suppose you're writing a code. Whenever you create a file in your computer, so automatically a particular memory space is allocated to our Python code by the operating system. Okay, from the RAM, a particular memory space will be allocated. And from that particular memory space, okay, when you write X is equal to 90, so X is what? X is a variable here. Variable is what? Variable is something where we can store some data. Okay, suppose you have a bottle with you. Suppose I give you a bottle. Okay, and we want to store water. So you will need a bottle, right, to store water. So similarly, a variable is a container which can store something, which can store some kind of data. There are a lot of types of data. We will cover that. There are types. Data can be of different types. Okay, and data needs to be stored inside a variable. So here, when you write x is equal to 90, so what we are doing inside a particular memory space, we are storing 90. Okay, and we are naming that particular memory space as x. This is literally what happens in any programming language in the backend. And when we write print text, so what here happens? Your Python code will go to the memory space and it will fetch the value of the x variable. What is the value of x variable? It is 90. So although you can see the cells are different, the code is differently written, but still the whole file will be sharing the same memory space, no matter what. Okay, I hope this is clear to everyone till here.
Yes, sir.
So I'm going to delete everything for now. Let's start with Python part. Okay, first thing class. First thing is your Python variable. So variable is simply a container which can store some data. Variable is simply a container which can store some data and any kind of data can come inside it. The variable is created the moment we first assign a value to it. Suppose in our code we are writing here, let's say x is equal to 90. Okay, and then sometime later on I write here x is equal to 23. Sometime later on I change the value again to x is equal to, let's say, x is equal to x plus 1. Okay, so here you can see the x value is becoming 24. So here we defined 90 at this particular location, at this particular place in the code, your memory location got created as x and 90 got stored inside it. When you write x equal to 23, so this memory location will not get created again. Rather, in this memory location, 23 will come. In place of 90, now 23 will come 90, the previous data. If you are reassigning, okay, if you are reassigning data to a variable, so the previous data inside the variable will get deleted and the new data will come. Or in other words, it will get overwritten. It will override the data present there. Okay, then we are written x equal to x plus 1. That means x is equal to x plus 1 means it is your, what is the current value of x? Current value of x is 23. And then we'll write plus 1. So here x will become 24. So 24 data will get stored inside the x variable. So this will be removed and this will be removed, and in place of this 24 will come. This is how the variables work in any language. Okay, we're talking about Python language. Now the value stored in a variable can be changed during program execution as many times as we want. One time, two times, 1,000 times, 1 lakh times. No problem at all. Okay. Now a variable is only a name given to a memory location. All the operations done on the variable is going to affect that particular memory location. Okay, that means if you're storing here class in a variable, you're storing x equal to 24. And tomorrow you say that, okay, no, I want to store x is equal to very big number. So here you can see if I write here print x, that will also work without any issue at all. Okay, here, but it is going to affect the memory location too. It is going to affect the memory location. You have done some operation there. Okay, so this is about your variables. Now there are some rules when we work on variables. There are some specific rules. What rules are that? Okay. First thing, that variable name. First rule is the variable name should always start either with an alphabet or an underscore character. Right? That means I can write here x is equal to 1. Okay. I can also write here underscore w is equal to 1. 1 also you can write, no problem. But you cannot write 1q is equal to 4. This will throw an error. Invalid syntax. The variable name cannot start with a digit. It can only start with a number. With only start with an alphabet or underscore character. That's the only thing. Now, but you can use digits inside the variable. Okay, inside the variable can contain digits. It cannot start with digit, but it can contain digit. I can write here x1 is equal to 89. That is possible. So here you can see x is a different variable, x1 is a different variable. Two different containers, completely two different containers. Similarly, if I write here, let's say class, I'm writing name is equal to sum s1. Okay, this will work, no problem. But I cannot write here like this, that I cannot write first name is equal to sum. Variable names cannot contain spaces in between them. So this will throw an error. Here what you can do, you can use underscore character if you want. Underscore character, alphabets and digits. These are the three only options that we have to create variables. Variable name can be big. No problem in that. You can create a variable, very big variable. Obviously without colon or semicolon. So you can write here equal to 90. It will work fine. No problem. If I copy this, I will write this here. You can see it is showing 90. Next thing is that variable names are case sensitive. That means when you're writing x is equal to 90, okay, and when you write capital X is equal to 23, so here you can see class that these are two different variables. Small x is different variable, capital X is different variable completely. Even if I write here name, so name is a different variable. If I write here like this, let's say I'm writing this, so this is again a different variable. I write maybe like this. Okay. Again a different variable. Here you can see name is different. Capital, this is different. Okay, and this is different. These three are different variables. So remember, Python is a case sensitive language, and each and every variable is also case sensitive in Python. Okay, next thing, suppose we are storing same data in multiple variables. Okay, suppose you're writing a is equal to 90, b is equal to 90. Okay, to 90 due to some reason. Now the same code can be written in single line also, like a is equal to b is equal to c is equal to 90. Exact same code. This and both of them are exactly same code with no difference at all. Okay. Now, in Python language, there are some reserved keywords. Okay. The reserved keywords cannot be used for naming the variables. For example, in every language, there are some words, right, that which have some special meaning. For example, like right now we're talking. So all of you are getting the meaning of each and every word that I'm using because they have some specific meaning. Similarly, in Python also, there are some keywords. Okay, so here you can see there is a list of keywords. So these are usually not advised to use as, sometimes it will throw error. Okay, and most of the times it is not advised to use them as variables because they are already defined in the backend of Python as something else entirely. As something else entirely. But I can show you here. If I write here and is equal to 1, here you can see and is a keyword. And I write and is equal to 1, so it is going to throw me an error. So whenever you are writing something, na, any word, so you can recognize by color. So suppose I'm writing here print. So here you can see print is a keyword. Print is a keyword. Let's say global is a keyword. Elif is a keyword. All of them are keywords. I'm just taking some of the print, global, and elif. So let us see them. If I write here na print, you can see color changing. I will write here global. Global also changing the color. So similarly, if I write here, let's say Alif. So you can see Alif is also changing the color. So whenever it automatically changes the color, always understand that it is a keyword and it is strictly, I would advise you to not use them as variables. Don't use them. Okay. So this is about your variables class. Okay. Next topic that we're going to cover is your comments. Comments are what? Comments are basically that part of the code. Comments are basically Python has commenting capability for the purpose of in code documentation. For suppose let's say there is someone, let's say Srinath is there. Okay, and Srinath and I are working on the same project. Okay, and I am sending my code to Srinath. Okay, so then it will be comparatively difficult for Srinath to understand my code. Similarly, vice versa. If Srinath is sending me the code, it is comparatively difficult class to understand the code of someone else. It takes time. Okay, so what happens in this case? Okay, you can do in code documentation. How? Suppose I'm writing here x is equal to 90. Okay, now let's suppose Srinath does not know what is the meaning of this. So I can put here hash and then followed by hash, I can write some statement. Right, okay, this line will create a variable named for 90 as data in. Okay. So I'm giving instructions. Okay, this is in-code documentation that Srinath can read and understand, okay, what exactly this line is doing. Now, what will happen in case of Python? Okay, here, whenever you write anything after hash, so Python will completely ignore that thing. Whatever you write after the hash. Suppose I'm writing here print. Hello, I'm writing here print. So here you can see class code is working fine. But if I put a hash here, so Python will completely ignore whatever is written after the hash in that particular line. Suppose I will write one more line here, print. Maybe randomly I'm just showing something. Okay, now I will put a hash here. You can see class what will happen if I run this code. Python will not print world because it is completely ignoring it. Okay. Okay, so this is your comment. Okay, and variables. So we have covered these two topics today. Okay, class, tell me one thing. Is there any doubt, anyone, in whatever we have covered today? Any doubt, anyone, in whatever we have covered today?
No, sir.
Okay. So I hope the session was like all of you were like able to understand. Okay, what was taught. Okay, and see what we will do. Whatever file I will create on a daily basis now, on a daily basis. So we will be sharing with you. Okay, all the contents related to the course, all the files that I will be creating on mail. Okay, so you will get everything on that. First thing. Second thing is that we will be giving some like all the doubts that you will be asking. Okay, so we can cover that in the class itself. Okay, whatever we have covered today, if you have any doubt in this, we can cover that in the next session. That means tomorrow. Okay, so yeah, that is all for today from my end. One thing, make sure all of you before coming